Why are you guys touching me? Hold on.
Put your hands behind your back.
Stand up. Suck my.
So we're all being spied on. Men are now being arrested for playing video games online.
The FBI is cracking down on voice chat and gaming. They're already monitoring everything you're saying on things like Roblox, Discord, Reddit. Most of y'all probably didn't know this, but you can even get banned from Fortnite if you say the wrong thing while you're in party chat with your friends. Yeah, not even random strangers, y'all. Fortnite is tracking everything you're saying while you're talking with your friends on there. PlayStation and Xbox also do this. So I really want y'all to know, anything you say while you're on voice chat on anything, even if it's something as simple as recording yourself on TikTok and posting it to your drafts, those drafts are visible to certain employees, even if you don't post them, by the way.
I sentence you to 2,500 consecutive life sentences plus 1,000 years. Once you pass away, you will receive an attempted escape charge with an additional 200 years being added to your sentence, which you will begin serving in the afterlife once you get to hell. Should you be reincarnated after your death and return to Earth as another person, you will be arrested at birth and you will spend your entire next life.
Be the bearer of bad news, but the federal government just said that they're going to be spying on you playing video games to combat extremism. It seems the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are going to be partnering with gaming companies to fight extremist gamers. Government Accountability Office
They did this after 9/11 too.
Says that the FBI and DHS should use the same strategy that allowed them to police extremism on social media to regulate the gaming industry. And the Anti-Defamation League, super reputable, says that 20% of adult gamers and 15% of kids playing games report being exposed to white supremacy while gaming. What constitutes extremism? You may ask. Racially or ethnically motivated violence, anti-government or
Abortion, animal rights,
or environmental
What
extremism.
the fuck?
You're pro-life, apparently. And all other domestic terrorism threats, which the FBI has already said includes going to church on Sunday. This is super constitutional.
That we now live in, and it's not going to get any better because as men are walking away from Western society, relationships in Western society, choosing to focus on themselves and their own happiness, they're taking money away from the state. Men are no longer congregating society. A lot of men are no longer going to the gyms. They're building home gyms. They're staying at home. So what are they going to do? Well, they need to have a way of monitoring men. And how are they going to do it? Well, these guys are playing video games. So we're going to monitor Discord. We're going to monitor chat. And then, guys, even then, they're pushing political and social narratives. So if they hear anything that they don't like, they're gonna use these new policies to come and get you, so that they can enter your home. Got a lot of this, to be very clear, guys. A lot of this is being done just as a means that they can use to not only monitor you, but to enter your home. So, we observed behavior or language that we deemed inappropriate or dangerous. We need to go inside of your home and look around. And then once they can step inside of your home, they're going to take all of your stuff. They're going to start looking for anything that they can use against you to put you in prison, to put you in jail. This is it, to put you essentially on their house arrest and lifetime monitoring. That's what they're really looking for. This is just another push so that they can monitor us and control us and dig through our trash. Because guys, you have to remember that in Western society, men, specifically men, because this has nothing to do with women. They're not looking for women. They're looking for men. This has, they don't like us. They absolutely do not like us. They HAT us. All right. That's how the society is structured. So they want to go to any level to make us miserable and to control us and to observe us like cattle. This is exactly how it is. And it's never going to end. It's never going to end.
The feds could be coming for you and maybe me, because that's right. In new reporting from The Intercept, it's been revealed that the federal government might be cracking down on, quote, extremist gamers. I guess that's not people who like games in an extreme way. Joining us now to tell us more about this story is the reporter Ken Klippenstein. Ken, welcome back to Rising. Great to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So tell us what's going on here. I looked at your story, and it's kind of same old story, some level of coordination and cooperation between a gaming company and the federal government, the same way we've seen with social media. Tell us what the concern is and what's happening.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The federal government wants to take the arrangement that they've established with these social media platforms, by which agencies like the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and other parts of the national security community, dialogue with them, communicate with them about alleged threats, purported threats, and get information from them to help better inform their understanding of the so-called threat landscape. They want to take that and expand it to encompass gaming platforms. So things people say into their headsets, text-based stuff, basically take what they've done with social media and expand that to gaming.
And what they've done with social media, is something that has concerned a lot of us, given what we've seen from the Twitter files and other things, that it's not just, monitoring for actual violent extremism or terrorism, but with the social media companies ended up being very ham-fisted suggestions that they, moderate political content relating to elections, COVID, and some other subjects. And then also with video games specifically, these intelligence law enforcement has a history of, reaching out to kind of loner type people on the internet and actually like ensnaring them and entrapping them. So that is another thing I would worry about here.
Yeah, I want to quote from the report that's sort of central to the story, which is a report put out by the Government Accountability Office that conducted an audit of these efforts to expand these mechanisms to gaming companies. It says, quote, the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Homeland Security have mechanisms to share and receive domestic violent extremism, threat-related information with social media and gaming companies. So basically, through the DHS's intelligence office, called the Office of Intelligence and Analysis, and the FBI's 56 field offices, they liaise with these companies in the form of briefings. The FBI has a tip center that it processes tips from these gaming companies through. And again, it's bi-directional. The national security agencies are giving them briefings and sharing with them information about what they consider to be threats. And then the gaming companies are communicating them to help inform their picture of what the threat landscape looks like.
I mean, guys, this is not, it's anti-consumer, it's anti-freedom, it's about control, it's about monitoring, it's about continuous and regular surveillance. And this is what we are facing right now. Okay, our freedoms are increasingly being taken away. This is the police state in and of itself. We know what happened back in 2020, where basically everyone was told what they could do, when they could do it, and how they could do it, and what they had to take. And if they didn't, there was gonna be hell to pay. All right, guys, like, it's what they want to put us on. It's just basically they want us to be in a prison planet. All right, where the prisoners are the guards, and they get they basically enforce the rules that are put in place by a select group of people that rule over all of us. That's a miserable reality that we are now facing. And along the way, we basically traded security for freedom, and now we will have we won't have either. We will have neither. And this is just how things have been going for so long right now.
Evidently, the FBI, those guys, the FBI, yeah, evidently they're cracking down on what you're talking about in your game chat whenever you're playing video games. Like Roblox, Fortnite, Call of Duty, yeah, they're peeping in and listening to what you're saying. So a lot of you guys are probably screwed. Yeah, a lot of you guys are probably going to prison. So if you have a buddy that you play video games with and you know that he rages a lot, and if he disappears for a little bit, just know he's probably locked away. And about 50% of my students, I'm convinced they're not going to be at school anymore. Yeah, because I've played video games with some of the high school dudes that I teach, like Call of Duty, and I'm almost convinced that they're going to be locked away.
Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty picture for any of us. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing to my newsletter for my personal thoughts and insights. It's linked in the description of the video. It's free. And also join the Angry Guy community on Local to get exclusive content or just support the channel. You can find it linked in the description of the video, and you can also find it by visiting angrygalaxy.com. I mean, guys, men are being arrested for playing video games. This should literally surprise no one. It's about control. It's not about security. It's not about safety. It's about control. It's about controlling men. It's about monitoring men. It's just a precursor to the fall of the Roman Empire. Just like they started doing it when the Roman Empire began to fall. They banned single men from being allowed to go to public events. Like they couldn't go to the Coliseum. They had to run in the streets behind one another during the winter, because they refused to get married. They were called worse than they were called worse than all of the criminals in the Roman Empire. It's going to happen to men in Western society. We're going to be chastised for not getting married, even though, because getting married to people who don't even like us, and they're going to punish us. They're going to use every term in the book to come after us. The traditional, the TradCon movement, these people are not friends. They're just another form of enforcer. All right. They're not our friends. They are just another form of enforcer. All right. So you have to be well aware of this so that you can protect yourself. The best thing to do is to diversify your income. Do not keep everything in cash. Cash is dying right now. Fiat currency is dying. Cash is not king. Do not believe them. You want to diversify. You want some gold. You want some silver. You want some Bitcoin. You want some Ethereum. Those are cryptocurrencies. You want to diversify. You want to own some property. And if you can own some land or some land in another country and property in another country, that is absolutely vital. At this point, we all have to diversify. Do not keep all your eggs in one basket. That is one of the most important things that you can absolutely do. There's some of you who are like, well, I'm going to stay here and fight. I don't care. I mean, that's cool, bro, but I hope you really, really mean it. I mean, because I know there are those of you that really, really mean it, and I hope you really, really mean it. Because when times get hard and people don't have food, and these Gen Zers are going around squatting and stealing. You're like, mess around, find out. But that's a Gen X thing. Or if you're not Gen X, are you really about that life? Because you might act like you're about that life, but when you have to look a man in the eye before the Control-Alt-Deletion, really, what are you going to do? Are you gonna be about that life over a package? Are you gonna be about that life over them stealing from your fridge? Are you gonna be about that life, catching them in your bed? Are you really about that life? Gen X is about that life. Gen X is not passive. They're aggressive. They're just silently aggressive. All right. It's like it's literally like meeting up a bear. They're more like honey badgers, to be very honest. But it's kind of like, you run into a bear in the woods and it's just minding its own damn business. And then it looks at you and you're like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen here. And it's either one or the other, where it walks away or it just comes at you. Are you really about that life? You need to really, really determine, what you're going to do. So that's the situation that we're all in right now. We have to be extremely mindful of this because they are monitoring us. I mean, the feds actually posted a ton of videos on YouTube, specifically posted these specific videos that talked about certain interesting topics, like making certain things. And then they turned around and got subpoenas to have YouTube hand over any information for people that view these videos. So it's basically entrapment. And obviously, the people that would be viewing these videos are mostly men. Again, it's insane. And they had all of the information handed over. So basically not just your personal information, like your name, address, and other stuff. Oh no, we're talking about access to your email. So YouTube just downloaded every email that you have, gave that to the feds, all your viewing history, everything you viewed on YouTube since the beginning of time, they gave that over. Every website you visited since the beginning of the time. Most of you are not clearing your browsing history, and that's not even just your browsing history, your search history on through Google. So everything you search for on Google, YouTube, and every other interconnected platform to YouTube, because you do get tracked across different websites that you visit using cookies. So they have all of that information as well. So basically, they have all of your information handed over just because you looked at a video that they posted online, and they got a subpoena from the courts to have them hand over, Google or Alphabet hand over everything, all your information, because you looked at this video. Like, this is the craziest thing. This is insane levels of monitoring, but this is the reality that men are now living in. Because we are walking away from. This is why I say MWA is so important. MWA is not MGTOW. MGTOW are men who are pissed off, fed up, and they're separating themselves from relationships in society. MWAs are men with alternatives. All right, they're basically choosing what works best for them. If that could be staying single, that could be going overseas and finding a girlfriend or a wife. It could be whatever they choose it to be, but they are men with alternatives. Maybe they might find a good woman in Western society and walk away with her, or they stay by themselves and stay single. And that could change later on. Or they stay home and play video games all day because they, and just day trade and make money here and there, just enough to survive and thrive, but and nothing more. Again, it comes down to the individual. And that's why I think MWA is so amazing, because, you know, there's no specific set terms of how to do MWA. MWA, men walking away, is still literally just men with alternatives, all right? Or niggas with attitudes. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments, because, man, things are really going to hell real fast, real quick. We'll talk about it in the comments. Men are being arrested for playing video games. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away, and cheers.